Hi everyone, Graham Anderson here. Just wanted to talk today a little bit about acceptance. Acceptance is one of these things that, I've been reading philosophical and, sort of spiritual books for the last 40 years at least. And one of the things that I sort of learned early on was accepting things are going to happen to you, good things, bad things, etc. And sometimes I see people today and they get worried about what I would call are quite low level issues, not to them obviously, but mainly because they've never really learned about, accepting things. And I see the anxiety that some of these things can create in them, and I wonder why they're not really sort of just taking these things and shrugging them off a wee bit. And so I want to talk to you about how I look at things and how I've sort of trained myself to look at things. One of the things that I learned with acceptance years ago is that things will go wrong, and they'll go wrong generally at the worst possible moment, and that's just a fact of life. And the reason for that is, if I take something like a car, for instance, you go into a car showroom, you saved up for the whole year, you put your big bundle of money on the desk for the salesman, he takes it and he hands you the keys, and when he hands you those keys over, that's the moment you have to understand this is a mechanical device, okay? This car can break down. In fact, there's so many moving parts on it, it's likely to break down. The wipers may not work, the lights may not work, it could break down driving down the motorway. It's just part of it. And so if you accept that something can go wrong with this at some point and you can accept it in advance, when it does happen, it's not as big a surprise. And that's, it's same with things like washing machines, etc. Mechanical devices. If you look at the washing machine pages online where it's a repair shop, it's the same questions every time. The drum won't turn, there's water piddling out the bottom. It's the same issues. So when you buy something like a washing machine, know that it can break down. And if you accept it, it can break down, you can drop your phone and crack the screen, your car can break down. If you accept these things are things that can happen and understand that the most likely will happen at some point, then the day you're driving down the motorway and the car breaks down, just say, I knew this was going to happen. So I'm just trying to say, whether it's a phone, whether it's a car, whatever it is that you've got there, try, when you look at things in life, to try and say to yourself, things will happen to me that are not brilliant, that are not going to be good. If you've got a child that can fall and break an arm, okay, so at the beginning, it's a little bit of a shock, but children do that. Children climb walls and children fall off the back of couches and, they break arms, they split heads, etc. Just accept when you have a child, these things are going to happen. It's not something that you should worry about too much. Obviously you want to keep them out of danger, but overall, accepting that these things can happen makes it easier for you. It cuts down anxiety, and when your car breaks down, you go, I thought that would happen at some point. I've had it 2 years now, so that's not too bad, 2 years without breaking down. Try and look at it on a more positive slant if you can. And then, it makes things easier. So acceptance is a wonderful thing. There's many books, many people talk about acceptance. And for me, the more you can learn how to accept things, you then start to accept things in another way, that you can get promoted, you can get a better job, you can do X, Y, and Z. You can be, in a far better position in life. So if you can accept things can go wrong, you can also accept that things can go better. And that's one of the things that you should be pushing for. Okay, so that's a quick chat on acceptance. Please don't worry about too many things. Please just try and understand them. When something goes wrong, you just think, I'm not happy about it, but you know what? It's not the end of the world. Next, and move on to the next thing. Thank you.